Welcome to Shomachshav on the Daf Shir sponsor Lunishva Asar Miakashom Le'abas Yitzchok. We're holding in Shavuos Daf Lamed Aleph. The Gemara throughout Amud Aleph speaks about the concept of Midvar, Sheker, Tirchak. How one is supposed to be so very careful not to say something even though he's going to bring out the truth. But if it's done in a way which is a Sheker, you say Midvar, Sheker, Tirchak, you have to go away from Sheker. And the Rajba in Shuvah on Chelek Gimel Sin Pi Aleph, there's a Shaila where he was asked, could someone say a Sheker in order to be able to take money, to extract the money that he deserves? And the Rajba says, Chaslei lezare de Avrom de leima shikra. The children of Avram Avinu should not say a Sheker. Afilu b'mokam seido. Techtiv sheiris Yisrael lo yasu avlo v'lo yidabru chozov. And then he brings our Gemara that even in a place of emes, you don't say, you get away from Sheker, not to be even close to Sheker. Mitzad Sheni, we find many times throughout Shas that sometimes Sheker is allowed. First of all, the Gemara brings that Tamei Chacham is allowed to change three things. Three things Tamei Chacham lie about. One is the Masechta, their Puria, and Ushpizo. If they ask him which Masechta he learns, so he does it. If he knows the Masechta, he says, "I don't know it." And when was he with his wife? He doesn't say it. And he doesn't speak about his host. And in addition, we found several places that there was a Sheker. For example, Mipnei Darkei Shalom that we learned from Avram Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu is doing a little bit of a Sheker. He takes the brachas from Esav. And the Ben Ish Chai in his Sefer Torah Lishma, the Tshuva Sefer Torah Lishma, Siman Shin Samech Dalet, he brings there that it was asked, when can you say a Sheker, when can't you? And he goes on to bring a whole list of rayos for Gemaras when Sheker is allowed. And he ends by saying, look at our Gemara, and you should know that not always you can do a Sheker, but he doesn't explain when is yes, when is no. So the Acharayim tell us, that's always comes out from Rav Yerucham Perla in Estze Chav Beis. He goes in Bimarich, the Mitzad Deraisa, there's no Isser of Sheker, but it's only a din in Beis Din. Beis Din should not do a Sheker. And all the Maisiv that we have in our Gemara has to do with Beis Din. You can't bring Sheker to Beis Din. And so brings the Birkas Avram, Me'obasu Daf Mevav on Beis, that the Rajba that we mentioned is only in Beis Din. You can't do a tiny in Beis Din based on Sheker. But if it's not Beis Din, Sheker will maybe be allowed. What is Oimek Hadover? What's shot that in Beis Din you have to be so careful about Sheker? But when it's out of Beis Din, there are times where Sheker is allowed. So the Chura, the Pshat is as follows. The Gemara in Sanhedrin of Kuv Beis and Beis tells us, when we speak about the Ruach of Novois, the Keita Hashem and said that he's going to be the Ruach Sheker, the Novi Sheker, and to come and bring a light to the world. So the Gemara there says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him to leave. Say, why? Because there cannot be any Sheker in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Oimek Hadover is that up there in Shamayim, it's very, very clear. There's emes and Sheker, truth and not truth. It's a black and white. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu is surrounded by emes, and anything else is a Sheker, and it's not part of the surroundings of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But once you come down here to the Aretz, once you leave the territory of Shamayim, in this world, it's very ambiguous. There is a combination of different things that sometimes Sheker is not wrong. As the Ramban tells us at the beginning of Chumash, that what changed before Chet Adam Rishon to after Chet Adam Rishon is before Chet Adam Rishon, the challenge was between emes and Sheker. Clear-cut black and white difference. Afterwards, it changed between Toiv and Ra. Toiv, sometimes things that are Sheker can be Toiv. Sometimes emes can be Ra. It depends on the circumstance. As the example that we mentioned before, the Gemara tells us that Chacham, and they ask him, does he know this Masechta? So if he says, I do know it, it's the emes. But it may be Gaiva on behalf of the Tamei Chacham. If he says, I don't know it, it's a Navo, but it's a Sheker. In this world, there's a Toivera Mishamshi Birbuvio. There's a mixture of good and bad, and things that are good are not necessarily emes, and things that are bad are not necessarily Sheker. Because this world is a world of gray, where things are mishamshi birbuvio. It's not clear cut, not black and white like up there in Shamayim. And so it comes out with our Volbe writes that in Ali Shur Chelik Beis. And Mimeli Shleimer, that's the Pshat. Beis Din is the place of Gilu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Eloikim neitzav be'adas kel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there in the Beis Din. Be'kerev Eloikim yishpoit. As we learned in Masechet Sanhedrin, Beis Din is mokum Gilu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in the Beis you cannot have Sheker. In the Mokim Mishpat, in the Mokim we have a Kelokim Nitzav, you cannot have a Sheker, because Lo Sheker Liikul Negedenai. Surrounding Kodesh Baruch Hu by Kodesh Baruch Hu's emes and Sheker doesn't have a kiyum. But once you're out of Beis Din, once you're in a place which belongs back to Olam Hazeh, to the regular world, so there Sheker may sometimes be the right thing to do. Because in a place we have a combination of Toiv and Ra, where there's an irbu, where things are not so clear cut, sometimes Sheker is the Ma'alech, that's the right thing to do. Anyone who wants to join the Shomach Shava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.